Probably not public information yet, but who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
That they ain't after him just to get him. You got Homeland Security involved. You got the feds involved. I got news for you. They ain't coming just for him.
Ever since Diddy's arrest, a lot of A-list Hollywood celebrities and artists have been seriously panicking. Why? Because it's not just Diddy who's in trouble. The feds are reportedly targeting his entire empire. And you won't believe one of the most shocking names caught up in this mess, Leonardo DiCaprio, the star of Titanic himself. What makes this even more wild is that after the lawsuit came to light, it was revealed that Diddy had secretly recorded everything happening in his mansions without anyone's consent. So whether these celebs were innocent or guilty, those tapes hold all the dirty details. And here's the real kicker. Diddy has apparently cooperated with the feds, handing over all the recordings to try and shorten his sentence. Trust me, the list of names is mind-blowing. Things have gotten so intense that Leonardo DiCaprio reportedly fled the country to avoid further questioning. But don't worry if you're feeling lost, we're going to deep dive into this Diddy saga. And before we get into all the juicy details, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates. As you may have already heard, Diddy was finally arrested on the night of September 16, 2024. This wasn't just any random arrest. It had been in the works for months. The federal agents had been quietly building their case under a sealed grand jury indictment, keeping everything under wraps so that no one knew Diddy's world was about to come crashing down. What's even more surprising is that his arrest wasn't supposed to happen that night. The plan was to move in on September 17th, but something changed last minute, prompting the feds to act a day early. Diddy had even moved to New York thinking he was cooperating with the authorities, perhaps believing he had time to sort things out. Little did he know, the feds were serious and moved quickly, showing that he wasn't as in control as he thought. Even crazier, on the day he was arrested, Diddy was acting like everything was perfectly fine. He was seen enjoying himself in Central Park, soaking up the sun and chatting with fans, looking as if he had no worries at all. And just hours before the Fed swooped in, he was with his son Christian, looking completely relaxed. He had no idea everything was about to change. In fact, just 30 minutes before Homeland Security made their move, he was outside laughing and joking with friends. Many people didn't expect Diddy's arrest to happen so soon, especially since it's been a year since Cassie filed her lawsuit, detailing the mistreatment she endured during their 11-year relationship. Following her case, 10 other lawsuits from different victims have emerged, revealing their own suffering at his hands, with striking similar complaints among them. Now, after a year, he has officially been charged with serious crimes, including racketeering, S-teaking, forced labor, and even arson, among others. According to the federal authorities, Diddy wasn't just using his fame and influence to manage his public image. He allegedly employed threats, mistreatment, and outright coercion to control those around him, particularly women. These accusations paint a troubling picture, with claims that he manipulated, intimidated, and forced women into situations that benefited him, all while trying to maintain his reputation. When the feds raided Diddy's mansions again, they found some bizarre and unsettling items, including 1,000 bottles of baby oil, lubricant, and even IV bags scattered around. But one of the strangest discoveries was the 50-foot bed in his mansion. It really makes you wonder, what exactly was going on with a bed that huge? Well, Diddy has been accused of hosting what he called freak-offs, which were described as highly organized and elaborate S-parties that he directed, often while recording the entire thing. According to the indictment, these freak-offs weren't your average parties. Some of them reportedly went on for days, with participants, including Diddy, needing IV fluids to recover from exhaustion and overdoses of illegal substances. And here's where it gets even more shocking. It said that some of the men at these parties were not just watching, but also engaging with each other intimately. As wild as all this sounds, it might not come as a total shock. Rumors about Diddy's wild parties have been swirling for years. Other celebrities have hinted at the craziness, and Diddy himself has even admitted to the outrageous nature of these events. At one point, he even predicted that if people ever found out what really went down at these parties, it could lead to his arrest.
You're gonna hear about my party, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time.
Well, it looks like that day has finally come. This interview dates all the way back to 1999. So the fact that these events have been happening for more than 2 decades is truly shocking. Over the years, countless celebrities have allegedly taken part in these disturbing parties. And one of the most famous names tied to them is none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. In an interview with Vogue, Diddy himself revealed that Leonardo was always at the top of the guest list for his famous white parties. According to Diddy, DiCaprio was a regular, never missing an invitation to these exclusive and now controversial events.
Who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are invited.
These two go way back, and it's no secret that DiCaprio has been a regular at Diddy's events for years. In fact, DiCaprio has been photographed attending Diddy's parties multiple times. One of the earliest moments was back in 1998 when the Titanic star was seen at Diddy's Labor Day party in the Hamptons. Their connection didn't stop there. Diddy was also spotted chatting with both DiCaprio and Ben Affleck at the Democratic National Convention in Boston on July 29, 2004. Their long-standing friendship has been captured in photos throughout the years, showing how close they've been for a long time. Despite old photos suggesting a close friendship between Leonardo DiCaprio and Diddy, a source close to the Oscar-winning actor claims that he hasn't been involved with Diddy for years. According to the Daily Mail, beyond his appearance at Diddy's party in 1998, an insider told Mirror US that Leo has not been in contact with the hip-hop star for a long time. The source also clarified that DiCaprio never participated in Diddy's controversial freak-offs and is not involved in the S-Teaking case. The insider firmly stated Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. They defended Leo's attendance at Diddy's past parties, explaining he attended a few of his parties back in the early 2000s, like everyone did, but they were not freak-offs. They further explained, these were just big house parties. Leo was at the beginning of his career back then, and he's long since moved on from that lifestyle. He has nothing to do with that world, so it's ridiculous for anyone to think he'd be dragged into this based on a few old grainy photos from over 20 years ago. The insider also emphasized, Leo is focused on his career and his relationship, and isn't even thinking about Diddy's federal case, which he has no connection to. While DiCaprio and Diddy were seen together at the 2004 Democratic National Convention, it's worth noting that the Great Gatsby actor also attended Diddy's 50th birthday party in 2019. So it's a bit contradictory for them to claim that Leo hasn't been in contact with Diddy for years, especially considering they were spotted hanging out together as recently as 2019. Plus, that Vogue interview where Diddy mentioned Leonardo as one of his top guests was in 2017, which wasn't that long ago. What's even more troubling is that right after Diddy's arrest, Leonardo was quickly seen in Paris with his girlfriend, Vittoria Soretti. Soretti, who has been dating DiCaprio for over a year, was seen wearing a black leather jacket over a dark gray dress with black boots. Shortly after, they were both spotted walking together, raising more questions. It's also worth mentioning that Leonardo isn't the only celebrity caught up in all this mess. A whole lot of other famous faces have been linked to it. And it's shocking how no one reported how wild these parties really were. Honestly, it's a miracle that your favorite stars weren't involved. Though if they weren't, good for them. Diddy isn't going down without a fight. And that's why he had those secret recordings made without anyone's consent. Big names like Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron James, the Kardashians, Anna Wintour, Paris Hilton, Jennifer Lopez, Tommy Lee, and Russell Simmons, whose career was already impacted by misconduct allegations, have all been mentioned. And if you think that's the end of the list, you're wrong. There's even more. Naomi Campbell was reportedly part of it. And when you were invited to these parties, you'd get an email with her voice saying you were invited. Mariah Carey was allegedly involved too, along with Usher. There are so many others tied to this scandal that we've got another video just for that, so be sure to check it out. Now, going back to the Titanic star. A resurfaced clip has been circulating online, raising concerns that Leonardo might have been groomed as a child, especially after a chilling video of him with a convicted pedo resurfaced in the middle of this shocking Diddy scandal. In the resurfaced clip, a young Leonardo DiCaprio, just 15 at the time, is seen in a friendly embrace with Nickelodeon dialogue and acting coach Brian Peck, who referred to him as the hottest teen idol. This moment took place on the set of Growing Pains and was featured in the documentary series Quiet on Set, which highlighted concerns about the work environment on Nickelodeon shows during the 1990s and early 2000s. While many of the allegations in the documentary focus on Dan Schneider, the creator of iCarly and Zoe 101, former child actor Drake Bell also spoke about his experiences with Peck. Drake's father, Joe Bell, noted how Peck's behavior toward DiCaprio seemed similar to his interactions with his son. But if these allegations hold any truth, it does raise questions about consistency. After all, if someone has gone through such an experience, you'd think they'd want to protect others from a similar fate, right? Especially considering that the lawsuit claims that many of the participants at the freak-offs were young artists. What's even more concerning is that it's been said that stars like 14-year-old Justin Bieber and 13-year-old Usher were already attending these wild parties at such a young age. And these accusations aren't just coming out of nowhere. Justin Bieber himself posted a video years ago talking about how he spent 48 hours alone with Diddy. Their friendship stretches back to when Justin was only 15 years old. Diddy even made some big promises back then, saying he'd give Justin a Ferrari for his 16th birthday and a mansion when he turned 18.
Keys is yours when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion?
Yeah. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives,
Additionally, at just 13 years old, Usher moved into one of Diddy's mansions, a detail that recently resurfaced when an old 2016 interview started circulating following the arrest of Diddy.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Now, multiple celebs have also dropped hints about these wild parties over the years, but without concrete evidence, it all remained speculation back then. One notable figure is Kanye West. In 2022, Kanye called Diddy a Fed, suggesting that Combs had turned against others to avoid jail time. Additionally, back in a 2014 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian recounted her experience at one of these parties, where she humorously mentioned that everyone was naked.
Well, this party, I think half of the people there were butt naked.
A former girlfriend of Diddy has come forward with serious claims of mistreatment, even before Cassie filed her lawsuit. Gina shared in a 2019 interview with controversial blogger Tasha K that Diddy allegedly stomped on her stomach and punched her in the head during one incident. Hun, who dated Diddy while he was on and off with Cassie, said she pleaded with him to stop hitting her and had difficulty breathing after the attack. She described Diddy as mentally, emotionally, and physically aggressive, alleging that he would compare her to Cassie, labeling her as the bad one and Cassie the good one. Although Gina didn't take legal action against Diddy, her interview gained renewed attention after Cassie's lawsuit and Diddy's recent arrest. Cat Williams has also chimed in about Diddy's rumored wild parties. In January, he opened up on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast saying, "I've got to protect my integrity because if P. Diddy wants to throw a party, you've got to learn how to say no." His words suggest that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than meets the eye. Jaguar Wright has also been vocal about this for years, claiming she saw this downfall coming as far back as 4 years ago. According to her, she even attended one of Diddy's infamous freak shows and witnessed some of the disturbing things he did firsthand. That experience, she says, is what fueled her to air out all his dirty laundry ever since.
I said he was going to jail because God told me he was going to jail.
Have you ever been in one of these Diddy parties?
Yes, I have. I sat down with Storm Monroe 4 years ago and said that man was an estrogen and he was using the business to estrogen.
She even mentioned how she watched the last Diddy tape that was sold online, pointing out that several stars appeared in it. Interestingly, the names she mentioned are actually victims of his alleged behavior. According to her, this might be why those names are not publicly connected to the situation, because they have been victims themselves.
The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber.
According to court documents, it appears that many of Diddy's employees, celebrities, and non-celebrities alike were involved in the allegations against him. This raises the question, what comes next for the 54-year-old Diddy? And what will happen to the unnamed employees and associates accused of conspiring with him? Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who's leading the charge against Diddy, was pretty mysterious when asked if more charges could come down the line. "I can't take anything off the table. Anything is possible," he said, leaving everyone guessing. "Our investigation is very active and ongoing. Sounds like there's still more to come, and it could get even crazier from here. Multiple sources indicate that quite a few folks who've worked with Diddy have been chatting with prosecutors. Rumor has it that at least one male Essex worker is gearing up to testify in front of a grand jury soon. And let me tell you, the allegations are expected to go way beyond what we've already seen in the indictment. Prosecutors have reportedly spoken to over 50 victims and witnesses, so this is just the tip of the iceberg. CNN also spoke with several legal experts to gain insights into what might happen next for Diddy and those associated with him. Most experts do not anticipate a plea deal for the music mogul, noting that the accusations against him may expand even further. Shay Rhodes, the director of Villanova Law Institute, remarked, "I will be very curious, especially since he's been held without bail, if that gives other survivors the courage to come forward." As for the individuals alleged to be part of Diddy's criminal enterprise, legal experts pointed out the tricky position the prosecution faces in deciding whether to charge them or coax them into testifying against Diddy. Misty Maris, a trial attorney, explained that the prosecution must navigate the challenges of dealing with witnesses who have questionable pasts or who may have engaged in criminal activities themselves. And if convicted of the racketeering conspiracy charge, he could face a sentence of up to life in prison, while the S-teaking charge carries a statutory minimum of 15 years. As of now, Diddy remains in federal custody as his lawyers were unsuccessful in their appeal for bail. Judge Andrew Carter, who presided over the case, stated that there were no conditions that could mitigate the risk of witness tampering or obstruction. Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, plans to appeal this ruling and maintain that Diddy is innocent of the charges against him. While many federal cases often result in plea deals, Agnifilo has suggested that this case may be different. Moreover, the investigation continues to unfold, and Diddy could potentially face additional accusations. Prosecutors have made public appeal for any potential victims to come forward. However, as Rhodes pointed out, it may be challenging for victims to speak out, especially given the history of mistreatment that has surrounded those who previously tried to come forward. It's shame and fear of whether or not you're going to be believed, she explained. She also emphasized the significant power Diddy wields, which could make those thinking about sharing their stories even more anxious. So keep an eye out for Diddy's trial on October 9th. We'll make sure to keep you updated with the latest news regarding this unfolding situation. Going back to Leonardo, the reason he fled the country might be tied to his desire to avoid questioning by the feds. Reports suggest the Kardashians have already been interrogated, which explains their silence over the past few months. Even Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been feeling the heat, with rumors swirling that the feds are hot on their trail. Now that the court has opened the door for other victims to speak out, many are wondering if this could be the moment for more victims to come forward and expose other powerful figures involved in similar scandals as Diddy. But what do you think? Will Diddy spill the beans about his accomplices soon? And is Leonardo one of them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. While we wait for more updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos for the latest on this unfolding saga.